Welcome to the channel, Paradigm Review Show. I am Ross Hunter. Guys, better be wearing spaghetti straps to make up for the crap he was saying last week about Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. All right, so today we're covering the spiritual sequel to Invasion USA. Pixie brought that to us, but we enjoyed it so much we thought that we would take a look at the Most Dangerous Game take on the character of Matt Hunter. So yeah, I mean, there's not really any real connection between the two films other than Michael Dudikoff plays Matt Hunter in this one and Chuck Norris played Matt Hunter in Invasion USA. So we'll call it the unofficial spiritual sequel. Gaz and I were just discussing off air. So I think James Booth, who plays the character Admiral Brown, actually wrote this. And at whatever point Norris turned down the opportunity to start the sequel. I think Norris was involved in creating the story for What Up Slip. Norris was involved in creating the story for Invasion USA, so maybe he just didn't feel the same connection. But you can head on over to @Moshinobi and like, sub, share. Check out Gaz's work on the American Ninja series. Pretty much have both the leads from that series in Avenging Force. It's almost like a bit of a side quest. Michael Dudikoff obviously playing Matt Hunter, and then Steve James playing Larry Richards. So we'll get into some of these legendary action sequences. I don't know, it'll probably be a shorter show today, guys. There's really not too much to say about this other than some vague Most Dangerous Game references and it essentially being an American Ninja offshoot. So Gaz can be our expert there.
I'm gonna put the disclaimer out, man, because I think this may go a little longer than we're anticipating. Because right, I'm going to put this disclaimer out now. We did enjoy this movie. So despite what we say and despite the coming roast, because believe me, there are going to be some roasts, we did enjoy it. I mean, it could be called Avenging comedy, really, because so that should give you a sign of where we're going to go with this. But it is still entertaining. It was released the year after the original American Ninja. So it's kind of in between American Ninja 1 and American Ninja 2. I think Dudikoff did Platoon Leader a year after American Ninja 2. Steve James came back in '89 for American Ninja 3. And then Dudikoff, American Ninja 4, teams up with the other co-lead of the series, David Bradley. James Booth is an American Ninja 4 who's, I'll say, is the stealth villain. Spoiler and alert, which, well, anyone who's seen this will have guessed it from the start, but it's kind of hinted at right at the end. Interesting fun fact for you as well, Sam Fistenberg. He also did, the notable movies from canon, Ninja 3, The Domination, also American Samurai with Mark Dacascos and David Bradley from American Ninja 4 and 5. That is actually a pretty good movie as well, worth taking a look at. So, back to you, Ross. Do you want to take us in? I've just kind of drowned them with some sewage.
I don't see anything on Wiki about the music, but all I'll say is the music's absolutely hilarious. I love the score of this movie. It really hammers home the unintentional comedy action genre. I don't know who scored it and produced it, Pixie. Maybe you can Google that and find it for us on the on the back end. Use the Google tool.
It's a quick question. Was the score as hilariously up there with the other Dangerous Game adaptation that I've forgotten already? That famous sequence, Ross, was dun 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 every literal 5 seconds.
Oh, is that Deadly Prey?
Yeah. Do you think it was up there with that?
It was up there with it. I don't know. It'd be I don't know. Maybe Deadly Prey, because that dude just like ran around the jungle in his underwear all movie, and like, you know what I mean. It was hard to contend with that. But we definitely want to have Deadliest Prey coming up when we get around.
Yeah, especially and the sequel as well. Definitely.
The 28 year later sequel that nobody asked for. We're definitely going to be covering that for you. All right, let's get into some of Avenging Force. It's been a while since we did any Most Dangerous Game around here. So, synopsis. A senator is targeted by the Pentangle, a right-wing military group. His pal, a former CIA agent and martial artist, tries to help him. The group kidnaps the agent's sister and tries to hunt him down the Most Dangerous Game style. That's kind of main one. As you know, there's like 3 synopsises. What up, Jerome? What up, Darkside? Shout out to everybody in the chat. So as Gaz said, this is another legendary Dudikoff. First sequence we see are like these 2 military agents like being hunted. One thing I thought kind of hurt the film a little bit, Gaz, to be overly analytical PRS style, is there's only like 2 most dangerous game sequences of hunting the the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
I think it would have moved the plot better if they had one more in the middle and you could see like how they're catching these enemies, and you know what I mean, like, because it doesn't really go too much into that.
Well, definitely when James Booth's character references them and says, look, they have one weakness, that at that time in the film they didn't know who they are, and they said, well, there's one way you can draw them out, there's one weakness they've got, they enjoy hunting, and that hunting, they enjoy hunting men. So you're right, if we just saw a middle sequence of how kind of, even if it's a flashback, how they came to be, or them in another sequence just of what we saw at the beginning and end, that would have given it a little bit more solidity.
I agree. Other than, again, like just like telling you what happens through plot dialogue, it would have been nice to actually see it. We've seen that a lot. So we're introduced to the 3 characters. It's like the 2 guys. I don't know, what were they? Secret Service? So I didn't really know.
Secret Service, yeah.
Kind of 2 paramilitary dudes, and they're both wounded. They're kind of running through the jungle, and that establishes the 3 or 4 main baddies. You've kind of got the fruitcake ninja, Gaz, with the white mask. He's kind of stalking through he'll call him the fruit ninja. He's kind of stalking through the jungle with the katana blade. We have the low-rate S&M bondage version of Zodiac, who's the leather mask guy with no shirt on. He looks more like he's dressed for an orgy than he is for the most dangerous game, hunting people. He's got the saw freaking mix between a trident and a pitch.
Yeah.
So that first fight is absolutely hilarious. And then obviously the main bad is Elliot, and he's got this kind of pseudo Poseidon. I don't know what even to call his mask, but that was yep.
He was the guy with the most legendary war cry ever. His way of mimicking wildlife and drawing attention to his situation, I think, is just legendary, Ross. We will never ever see something like that again.
That was the most confusing thing again, because like, okay, you're trying to mimic a bird call, but you're also letting everyone know that you have this dead body in your lap. You know what I mean? The whole thing's kind of confusing. So we have that first fight with the 2 guys, I guess the good guys. One is trying to carry the other. He's like, yeah, I'll carry you. He later just sets him down on the tree. And man, the fight choreography is just absolutely hilarious. I mean, you guys will love it if you haven't seen it yet, but if you already have seen it, you'll definitely know what's up. But like Gaz, like you said, when he comes at the dude with the pitchfork, he misses like 3 times, and the dude is wounded. I'm like, dude, how are you missing at point blank range? Like,
dude, even before that, there's a scene, right? So it opens up. They're being pursued through the Louisiana swamps. These 2 Secret Service agents. You don't know they're agents yet. It is revealed though. And there's like the guy who kind of, this Ross said, he was like the clown ninja. I guess he looks, I guess, like a really bad version of Yoshimitsu from Tekken, and he's looking for them. They manage to escape this guy, so they're both crouched down, and some dude, one of the villains, comes running from the bush in the background, like jumps and rolls over one of them. It's like a bit like a Canadian destroyer from wrestling. So he grabs and tries to take the guy with him, blatantly misses. So I don't know if that was an intentional botch, Ross, or they just decided, what the hell, we're just going to leave this in. And like that, the Secret Service agent then would have the advantage. But no, and then of course we get to the fight that you're describing, where the guy is successfully countered 3 times. The pretty much the Secret Service agent has the upper hand, and then it's almost as if, oh, well, I've got to go in about 5 minutes, so my wage is running out now, so I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to bother. So tell you what, there's kind of like a bark behind me in this one. So I'm just going to lean against the bark and let the villain just do, who's already missed, as Ross said, 3 times with his trident hybrid weapon. I'll just lean here and there you go. There's your target. And that's what happened. This is like, yeah, I've got to go home now because dinner's ready.
Yeah, wouldn't you go around it so he gets it stuck on the tree and then you could disarm him? Like, there's just like zero any sort of tactical know-how. Like, I know at one point they were hiding in that cave. You know what I mean? And then I don't even remember. So okay, yeah. So that guy gets done in. And then it goes to the other dude that was with him. He
was running off in the background.
And then it's the masked guy in the tree, as Pixie put it. So like he just has this unbearable like Poseidon like under the sea mask, kind of like demented, like reptilian man. And he jumps down on him, and he literally only uses the kraut wire. So he jumps down, lands on top of him as the guy's about to swim away and escape to the shore or whatever that is. And he strangles him with the kraut wire. That's when he does the kind of bird call to announce that he's caught the last guy to his cronies there.
That was so hilarious, dude. I think I actually wet my pants at that scene before I'd got any further. The dam had well and truly broken. It's so hilarious, folks. You've just got to see it. Yeah, and that's when I think the rest of them then come and meet Creepy Mask Poseidon Man, and I think they're going to take the wallet off off that guy, and that's when we find out he's a Secret Service agent. Yeah, because there's that brief little dialogue between them, and then it's revealed that there was Secret Service agents. Yeah,
like I mean, even in the late '80s, you know, like. The government would do absolutely nothing to track missing Secret Service agents. Like that wouldn't be a security thing. I mean, that's going to be difficult, Jerome. You're going to get tired. I hope you have enough CBD to keep going through that. So we'll pop over to Wiki. Avenging Force is an 86 American action film directed by Sam Furstenberg. The screenplay was written by James Booth, who co-starred in the film. It was originally intended as a sequel to the 85 film Invasion USA, which starred Chuck Norris as Matt Hunter. And Avenging Force, played by Michael Dudikoff, faces off against a group of far-right extremists known as the Pentangle. I mean, such a weird name. I don't know how it almost sounds like that thing that, what's his name? Mike Myers did on Netflix when he was making fun of that like Illuminati thing where he played all the characters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was almost the same name. Yeah. It wasn't Pentangle, but it was like right next to it. Plot: former U.S. Secret Service agent Captain Matt Hunter has retired to his family's ranch in Louisiana and Texas. Like, what does that even mean? Is it on the Louisiana-Texas border? Does Louisiana and Texas even have a border together? With his sister, Sarah, and grandfather. They drive to New Orleans and meet Matt's old military comrade and local politician, Larry Richards. Larry, Matt, and their families ride in Larry's float in the Mardi Gras. Disguised as revelers, assassins open fire on Larry's float, killing his eldest son. So the cheese is insane in this scene. Like, first of all, like, you know it's going to happen, but like he's supposed to be a senator, but is he going for something else, mayor or something? I don't know. I don't even know if they explained it. But there's like no security on dude's floats, like other than that. But there's that one, isn't it? That one guy, because Matt says to me, "You the security," and there's just one, and I'm like, look, we clearly as revealed, this guy is ex-military. He's been in the service with Matt. He's pretty capable. I mean, Steve James, good martial artist, rest in peace, Steve James as well. You know, and he shows that he's obviously quite capable. So with him going for that position, there would be a security detail attached. There just would be. And it's just like one random guy who probably, you know, had a morning free from the bar or something's like, yeah, I'll go and help your mom or something. He's just put there. And it's just Matt with his spider sense. You know, we get that close up for about 20 times, Ross, where it's emphasized, you know, Matt senses something's going to happen here. Something is going to go down. Yeah, and it's fairly obvious from what was that one dude with the glasses? Was it Spencer? That dude was obnoxious.
Yeah, well, he does have that hilarious scene, which we'll get to, where he does showcases thespianism.
Yeah, For sure. I don't even know. I'm not even seeing him on the character list. But yeah, so anyway, that he's the dude that the Pentangle has a. By the way, if you're, this is for sure a Grindhouse B movie. If you're like sensitive to, racist terminology, not the movie for you, because the Pentangle drops various variations.
Yeah, it's in line with what their characters are in the film, and it stays accurate to that.
Yeah, so obviously Steve James being Larry Richard, obviously a black man, they refer to him as, the N-word several times. So this dude that Elliot has given the mission to, he's in charge of the goons. So pretty much Matt works his way up to the front of the float. He's in the back at first, but he's like trying to get a better view. And then at a certain point, these guys, they all they have masks, and they're like loosely dressed as like Mardi Gras, people. But they also stick out like sore thumbs, so it's fairly obvious that they're the baddies. So
when they casually appear from the crowd as well and stood there, and it's like you can clearly see these dudes have real bad intentions, and as you say, you can kind of see it. But none
of them are dressed like Mardi Gras growers. They all have like cheap suits on, and to be like don't even fit into the crowd. Other except like that one dude is like holding the mask on his face, but so they wait for their chance to try to hit Larry, and then they pull out like the Uzis and the pistols out of the didn't they have them in like a stroller or something at one point? And they basically start to open fire, and that's just like your first experience of the cheese of just like that one security guard who doesn't do anything.
He was just there, wasn't he?
I mean, don't senators have Secret Service in the U.S.? Like,
apparently not at this time.
Not in the mid '80s.
It's like as we've said before. To go with Invasion USA, when we were saying like where are all the cops and security that weekend, it's like have a good one, Jerome, and I hope it goes well, man, as well. And thanks for coming through. Do you think they had the weekend off again, Ross? Was that a thing back then? Just got
Mardi Gras on a Tuesday, so here in the States that's usually during the week.
Tuesday holiday. I know, was Labor Day moved to a Tuesday for that week?
Oh yeah. Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So disguised as revelers, they open fire. They end up. Larry kind of pulls his wife away, and I think his youngest son. They try to get cover, and then his older son gets shot. Just some cheese of again, like you said, Hunter doesn't even have a gun at his own friend's freaking Mardi Gras float.
Don't get me started on that. We're going to come to that as well.
So he has a martial arts exchange with one of these dudes that clearly like aren't trained. Dispatches of him. I think he does get the pistol and he does fire some shots back at the bad guys. There's so many unnecessary somersaults, as Gaz is going to tell you later on. I know. Larry Richards, he pulls one randomly. I think when they're like down, like ducking behind the float or whatever that is, he just like somersaults out of the shot for no reason. I don't even think they're being shot at that point, but he's just like showing you he can do it. Like
the action got to him, so he was feeling intense and just like turned into a human bike, I guess. For a second, stunt Mike.
Yeah, bro. That the whole scene is hilarious, man. It's freaking hilarious. Anything else on that?
I will say this, and if you've seen the American Ninja movies as well, and what's that other Grindhouse movie Steve James did? I think is it I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, as well. Which is a hilarious one. I think me and Mac talked about that way back in the day. Steve James and Michael Dudikoff did have a good chemistry, and there's good chemistry on screen, and that does shine through. And I do like their camaraderie. Kind of gutted at something that happens as we'll reveal halfway through the movie. So that was one of the good qualities for that side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I definitely like the team up of both of them. Obviously, they did like a whole trilogy. Ninja. So after this, Matt calls his old boss, Admiral Brown, and learns that the perpetrators are members of a far-right group known as the Pentangle, suspected of operating a hunting club targeting people. The Secret Service asks Matt to infiltrate the organization. Matt declines because of his family, but he sends his and Larry's family to hide out at his ranch. Professor Elliot Glastonbury is the head of Glastonbury Industries and the leader of the Pentangle. Yeah, also they call their most dangerous game hunting people. They call it the Great Hunt.
Yeah.
Most dangerous game, Great Hunt.
I mean, it does kind of have, I guess, as well, it does have a hidden target precursor feel to it. That is there with the swamp scenes. It's a like that mixed with, as Ross said, like a side quest for American Ninja. The meeting we're taken to of the leader of the Pentangle was kind of, I'm going to drop a spoiler there, where that whole scene, Ross, where he was giving the speech at that official meeting where they're setting out their policy for the states, they've got all the members gathered, the way he's got them all cheering, no. Cheese.
Yeah, that was crazy cheese. And also when the two assassins do the wooden stick
demonstration,
and they're like hitting each other bad hard, and you can hear their reaction to it, and then they have to take their masks off. They're forced to be like, "Oh no, we just totally did that for a demonstration," but you can tell they were like beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah,
one of them blatantly still out of breath as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Gaz was talking about Elliot. Learning that the families are hiding out at Matt's ranch, Glastonbury orders the Pentangle members, Delaney, Wallace, and Laval to attack the ranch, kill the Secret Service agents and Matt's grandfather, and set the ranch on blaze. Matt, Sarah, and Larry's wife all escape, and Larry goes back to rescue his youngest son, but is shot in the process. Larry asks Matt to protect his son and dies. Meanwhile, Sarah is taken hostage, and we could break down that scene because there's obviously some funny cheese. My thing about the Pentangle, like being so brazen about like targeting Secret Service, it's like, dude, if you shot a local cop, that sheriff would have his whole force out there like looking for you, right? Yet these guys are targeting federal agents like it's nothing. Like the federal government's not going to have any response to how many of our agents have died,
and just to back it up, because I think we've missed this scene, and we can break down some of the comedy elements in that just before the farm. After the ambush at the Mardi Gras parade, Larry, Steve James's character, goes to the hospital with his family. Matt's there as well. And a mysterious call comes in with someone pretending to be from a local news channel.
Yeah.
So Larry says, we'll agree to this meeting. I am kind of glossing over this, folks, try not to drop too many spoilers. And they agree to go to this meeting. And so this is one of the other comedic flaws that me and Ross noticed. So they get in the truck as an exchange between Larry and Matt. Now, Matt is still in active service. That's revealed. He's given other agents orders. He's liaising with HQ, intelligence sharing, gets briefed on Pentangle. Whole point is, James Booth even says to him at one point, why don't you participate in the Great Hunt? He didn't call it the Great Hunt, but to draw them out. So he's active, Ross, Isn't it by default kind of worldwide and says if you're active, you are going to be equipped with a firearm, aren't you? So they're in the truck.
Not only are you going to get one, registered for you, but the other thing is if Matt is active duty, when does he work? Is he on vacation?
Yeah.
How come he can just do this random side quest with Larry Richards? Like, hold on, my boy's a senator. He's in trouble. I need to What up, Beckham? When are you going to show up to work, bro? You're just like you're out there, just like doing random crazy crap.
It's like he's doing freelance hours, and when they're sat in the Jeep together, and they're on the way to what they know is going to be the ambush point, and Larry says to him something like, "You got a piece?" "No, I haven't got one." I'm like, "You're in active service and you haven't got a piece?" Even if you were off duty and your friend, who's your best friend, is going to be a senator, they've just ambushed him, and there's just been some terrible things happened there. You would have a piece on you. You would, man. And it's like, no, I haven't got one. And then Larry's like, no, I got rid of all of mine. And I'm like, dude, he's ex-military. From his training suggests he's probably been in an elite unit, and he wouldn't have any around for security to protect his family, especially going after this. He's like, no, we'll I think they even say we'll do what we always do, we'll improvise. And then
so I have to jump in on this. Okay, so Matt Hunter has the dual Uzis in Invasion USA, right?
Yeah.
So what happened to his submachine guns? They just got rid of them in freaking Avenging Force because they wanted Dudikoff to do more hand-to-hand, you know what I mean? So it's like literally the guns you've seen him use in a whole movie he doesn't even have in the sequel. So they get the shadow phone call. Matt says, no, Larry's like busy right now. He can't come to the phone right now. Yeah, he's not going to be able to make that. And then Larry picks up the other phone. He's like, this is Richards. I'll be there. And he's like, dude, you know it's an ambush. He's like, yeah, I know. So Matt tells him no. Larry tells him yeah. So on the way there, he's like, oh, man, I don't have my piece anymore. Do you have your piece? Like Gaz was saying, you have your piece? No, I don't have mine anymore either. They look at each other. They go, what are we going to do? They look at each other. Do what we always do. Improvise. And they both say improvise. Like, you're going to go into every fight in this movie with no firearm, like Gaz said, and your plan is to improvise. Like, how you can tell.
Yeah, and dude, as we get in the final act, that, oh, man, that's demonstrated again when there's moments where Matt Hunter could have took tools that are dropped around him, and he doesn't. But we'll get to that. So as the Jeep progresses, folks, for a short distance, of course the road gets closed off. They get cautioned, I think. And somebody, isn't there a bus? Somebody blocks it off with a bus and cars.
Back, and then I think it's like 2 cars and something else, a truck or something. Yeah. In the front. So they go to pull in where the meeting gate was an obvious blatant ambush. I mean, just 80s action cheese, like whatever. Wait, what was I going to say about that? Oh, okay. So the main parallel between Matt Hunter in Invasion USA and Matt Hunter in Avenging Force is like he drives that 4x4 truck. So but that's like the big thing. Like that's like the only like thing that carries over. But it's a same truck. So he has the 4x4. They're about to get trapped in. And Richard's like, I forget what he says, like, what are we going to do or something? And Matt's like, wait, let me try this. He just hits it in reverse and just like backs out of a fence and just like drives by all like even the ambush trap didn't even work. And mind you, they have no guns. Literally all they had to do to end the movie right there was just light up that 4x4 with all their guns that the bad guys have that the good guys don't have. And they'd both be dead.
But Ross, this is the most highly skillful force that we've seen in using firearms. The accuracy is unparalleled, man, like, and we see that throughout. So with that level of skill on display, I think it's why Matt was able to make it to the next act.
Yeah. So what we come to in this transitionary catalyst scene is basically a shipyard of just like a bit like a boat and a dock and shipyard, like Gaz said, and they basically just run through. And it's just like crazy, like hand-to-hand combat sequences, like cheese. Obviously, like the guy with the glasses, I think his name was Spencer. He's kind of just sits in the back and sends all the baddies in. We'll go with Steve James, aka character Larry Richards in this one. So he again, jacked guy, fit man. Pixie, I'm sure you noticed some things about him when his shirt came off. He leads them into a tunnel, and the guys are just walking around like can't find him, like dumbest henchman in history. I think he was wearing a wife beater or whatever. He obviously Dude, he reminded me of Mike Hager, guys, because he was like a politician.
He was. Like, his character is very much like that. Yeah,
I'm like, dude, like, and this whole movie, it's like, especially with that background, it's like 8-bit or say, what up, Tim? It's like, I'm sure you've seen this, Tim. You've seen Invasion USA. This is the spiritual sequel. That 80s 8-bit, 16-bit, like when they were fighting, it totally reminded me like of a beat 'em up game. If you took a beat 'em up game and translated it into a movie, you would get Avenging Force. Yeah. So the 2 guys are in there. He pops out, Larry Richards pops out with no shirt on. He just starts like 360 elbows. He just starts beating the crap out of him. Of course, both guys are armed, but the earlier scene have obviously established the plan is to improvise. Therefore, Hunter and Richards are not going to use any weapons or guns. They're just going to hand-to-hand all these armed villains, and that's what makes it so
shoot!
Bam! He completely clocks those guys. Hunter Hunter has a fight where he climbs up the thing and sneaks up on a guy. He gets a lead pipe. He kind of hits him under the leg, and then that dude, you see him like. There's a couple. I like those stunts, guys. There's a couple big falls off into the water. Of the dudes falling off the top.
There's some good sequences, but some of them are comedy. The guy who's wearing the trucker baseball cap, who the way he was leaning over, I get it. Someone who's a trained operative, of course, can use stealth and take someone out quickly and ambush them. But it was like these are supposed to be reasonable trained professionals, but they seem to have no situational awareness. And the way that guy is just like peering over. and then I think that's when we see a move that Dudikoff does in American Ninja a lot, where usually it has like he'll have a baton, and it'll usually hit the ankles, and then it'll do a sweep, come in and then kind of over like this. There was that sequence, and as we were saying earlier, Ross, it was like the whole thing just leads up to them using the zip line. The thing just before that, where the guy is pulled off I think it's like a crane top, that was pretty decent.
There's some good stunts in there. Granted, I mean, it was blatantly just let's have them go in a shipyard so we can use zip lines and use the terrain. Like, it was obviously that, but
just remembered, I think, was it just when he gets who was the guy who had the shotgun who missed so close? Was that just before Steve James then takes him out with the elbows in that alleyway in the plant?
Might have been. Yeah, I remember that tunnel fight. I'm not sure. Chuck opted out of this one, so
I think he was away that weekend. The jacket and mullet didn't come back for Avenging Force.
No. This is all Dudikoff. Man. So, So anyway, blatantly just like a shipyard fight scene. So I think it all culminates to Hunter chasing Spencer across the rooftops.
Yes,
he climbs up that roof and he finds his mask. Or maybe that was the parade scene. I forget now.
I think it's because there is, just when that guy gets pulled off the crane by Dudikoff, then James sees someone behind Matt, and he picks something. It's the only time when they actually do pick something up to use it, more or less. And James, aka Larry, picks something up, and I think he goes to throw it at the bad guy, and then of course he gets injured because he gets shot. It grazes his arm or something, and then that's when Dudikoff then uses a zip line, kicks the guy off the platform, I guess.
Yeah, that was the big stunt with the big fall.
Yeah, and then they're looking over and they see Spencer, and then Spencer, shouts some insults at both Matt Hunter and Larry, and implies that the Pentangle will be visiting Matt soon.
Yeah, basically, instead of killing the guy who is responsible for killing Richard's son and shooting out his whole family, they let him run away to go tell his boss Elliot that
that's the conclude scene.
Chris Tucker voice from Rush Hour. What we actually missed was the chase after the parade when Dudikoff climbs onto the roof, aka Hunter. Chases him through the that scene wanted to be the Godfather 2 parade so badly, might I add. But he chases him across the rooftops, and eventually he follows him to. They both run out of ammo, shooting at each other, and then he loses him in the crowd. But so the way that the shipyard ends is they're like tell Elliot we're coming for him, and I think the next scene is the Pentangle assassins at the shooting range. Spencer tells Elliot that guy Hunter, he's an elite agent, he's totally after you, bro.
Yeah, so there's there's 5 members of the Pentangle, and we'll get to the 5th near the end of the film. So anyway, the 4 gathered with the guy who I guess the audience thinks is the leader for most of the film, but it's pretty obvious that he isn't. There's somebody above him.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're using the gun range. Spencer comes in. Elliot's character reveals that he knows who's Matt Hunter is, and is revealed as the elite of the elite. and they're all kind of get excited. One of the characters as well, I've forgot to say, I can't recall his name. Perhaps somebody does. He is also the villain in it's either Gary or Jake Busey in The Eye of the Tiger, not to be confused with the Rocky soundtrack song. It's a separate movie, and Ross, the guy, actually plays a similar kind of Mad Max-esque bondage character. He's kind of a leader of a Mad Max biker cult gang kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, he gets excited, finding, this will be a good guy to hunt, etc. And it all results in, you know where it's going to go, in Spencer being taken out by Elliot. And folks, the thespian performance that we see from Spencer when he's, with this being YouTube, I'll use an alternative word, when he's deleted by Elliot. Ross, that was Shakespearean through and through. That was absolutely fantastic. The crowd, the alley, it's like, oh no.
You think Othello and all these things are theater, but you're going to see true theater when you watch Avenging Force. And so you can tell what Elliot's going to do, because he's like loading up the pistol. He's not even facing the gun lane, so he's obviously not just going to be shooting at the target. He's like, hey, you messed us twice. You messed up. And he's like, no, Elliot, please. I'll get him. I'll get him, Elliot, please. He shoots him right in the middle of the chest. But also, guys, you notice there was like no blood in that.
Yeah. Not until later as they're all walking past us, glancing down at him.
The squibs forgot to go off in that scene. He just gets a hole through his clothing, but it doesn't bleed at all. And also, like, is that a private gun range? Because I'm pretty sure gun ranges, I know it's 86, but they have cameras, and you can't just turn around from your lane and shoot the guy behind you. Like,
but you would think that the staff on duty would have found him and said, "Oh, there was 4 wonderful gentlemen in here who's left."
There's an accident at the lane, even though the guy blatantly turned around from his lane and shot the guy directly in front of him. Anyway, I guess the insinuation was the Pentangle owned that range, and it's a private range, and the help is just going to clean the Spencer body up for him.
You would have thought though. You would have thought Spencer knew what was coming, because there was that pause. I'm like, you'd think this guy could have made a quick run for it just in those 20 seconds, and he just seems like rooted to the spot, isn't he?
Here's a thought. He's getting sent on missions to shoot at Matt Hunter and Larry Richards, who are both, combat veterans. And not only did none of the good guys wear bulletproof vests, none of the bad guys do either. Had he worn a bulletproof vest, that would have blocked that chest shot.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Your job is a bad guy henchman that goes in the field to get into gunfights, and it never occurs to you to wear body armor. Anyway.
Yeah.
Really not suspended.
Yeah, it's a hilarious scene anyway.
Should we do the ranch? There's some good.
Yes, it's a ranch pretty much. Yeah, after this, isn't it?
Mm. So Elliot dispatches the Pentangle assassins to Hunter's ranch, and they got all these secret. There's like 3 or 4 Secret Service agents. They wear shirt and tie, and they carry like submachine guns, which I don't even think is like what they get deployed when you join the service. They're like, you're going to protect the president now. Here's a short range Uzi. Probably not how it goes, but fine. So one guy is hungry, and he's like, hey, I'm falling asleep out there. And the guy's like, oh, it's getting cold out there. He's like, I made some hot soup. He gives him a bowl of soup. He goes out there. He's eating the soup. He gets shot in the neck by a crossbow. And also all the other agents are dead out there. And he doesn't even, did I write ET? It's 2 West, 2 PST, Pixie. I don't know what I wrote on there, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, guys, anything on the Pentangle guy sneaking around the ranch and just killing these Secret Service agents? Also, last time I checked, Secret Service agents had like the little communications in their ear. Where's their comms?
Yeah, that's missing. All I can say in situational awareness just isn't there. But right, anyone who's joining in now, we may be roasting this hard. We could title this Avenging comedy, but myself and Ross did enjoy this movie. We did enjoy it. It is entertaining. It's a fun movie. It's a great movie. Yeah, it really is. If you enjoyed Invasion USA, this is up there. If you enjoy, American Ninja are cheesy but entertaining movies as well. This is up there, cheesy, entertaining action movie. No, I just thought again, that the other Secret Service agents kind of just, as I've said, the situational awareness, nothing, as you said, the communication isn't there. Yeah, number 10's just gone down or whatever, folks. Yep, check in, are you there? None of that.
No walkie-talkies, no earpiece comms. Anyway, I have to assume that Secret Service would have already had those in the late 80s, but that's okay. And when they're on the porch, they're kind of just like staring out into darkness.
Do you think a bit too casual, aren't they? A bit too casual. It
doesn't even seem like the Pentangle agents are that far away because they're just behind that tractor or whatever they're hiding behind. You know what I mean? The hay bales. So that's only like 10 meters away, 20 meters.
Yeah. And I will say this, folks. A bit of a warning, as Ross said, this is a grindhouse movie, and this scene in particular is very grindhouse. The villains are villains. There is no punches pulled in this whole scene, that's for sure.
No subtlety, yeah. So, dude, what up, Jeff? Dude eating the soup gets crossbowed in the neck. I believe they launch a grenade, load a grenade into the grenade launcher. They launch that through the window of where the grandfather is playing cards with the other Secret Service agents.
Yeah,
blows up the kitchen, and then that pretty much lights the house on fire, which leads like Hunter gets most of Richard's family out there and his sister, but the youngest kid is stuck upstairs in the loft.
Well,
so to speak.
Yeah, and before that, Larry gets Matt's sister out and his wife, and he gets them out, and his youngest son is trapped upstairs. So he turns around to go back into the house, and this is when we get a scene. We get a cut to Elliot and the Pentangle, who says, "Right, give him a spray." And Larry then gets hit in the back. I think, and he gets a crossbow arrow on his back as well.
Yep.
So then Larry struggles through the house, manages to get up the stairs, gets his son, and then this is when Matt arrives, goes up the stairs have collapsed, pulls himself up. Larry comes out, gives his youngest son to Matt, asks him, right, save my son, get yourself out of here. And it sucks because this is where Steve James sadly exits the movie. I would have liked that partnership to have continued because they had the good chemistry, and it would have been nice if we could have seen them, Ross, and like what we do see in the final act, where there's kind of like, I guess, hidden target, most dangerous game scene. More of a longer scene of them working together, hunting the hunters. That would have been pretty sick. So I was pretty gutted when Steve James went out at that point. I was like, man.
Same, yeah. Because the way it set off, it was those two Secret Service guys being hunted. It would have been cool to have Matt and Richards out there in the bayou getting hunted. They could have helped each other, being, combat veterans, having that experience already. Would have been cool. So Richards falls off the first story onto the stairs, face down. You can see he's obviously the character died. Although you would assume just from the arrow and the blood loss, he probably just passed out from shock. So what I was thinking is like Hunter could have dragged him out of the burning house.
I was thinking that, yes.
He probably could have broke off the arrow and then just tied a tourniquet and see. So it would have been cool if Matt resuscitated him. Obviously not what happened. So then Matt is struggling to get out of the house because the flames now are covering. He can't go back down the stairs, as Gaz said. So he breaks a window. He comes out of the top of the roof. Kind of has an exchange with Elliot, who at this point has taken Matt's sister hostage. I think they've executed
Larry's wife,
Richard's wife, another grimy scene thing.
Yeah, and his son as well, very grimy.
So some cheese here.
Not his son, of course. Sorry.
Impact scene, but also some cheese. So the crossbow Matt in the leg, he falls off the roof. He's obviously holding the kid. The kid obviously falls off as well. And as they fall off the roof, you can clearly see it's like a doll dummy that just falls like a brick,
When that happened, Ross, and sorry, folks, I was getting ahead of myself there. I just unintentionally gave away the next moment in that scene. Bro, I couldn't help think of Game of Death, the end scene with the doll falling. And I was saying this to Ross. when we were talking about this, y'all. You see the doll fall, and it's like they've got a kid to record the audio and just stuck it on top of it. So as the doll's falling, you just like hear someone from some kind of like old school arcade game or something shouting, "Ah!" as the doll's falling. Just like, bro. I was like, yeah. I mean, it's a horrible scene as what happens next, but when you see that doll, folks, you can't help it. It's comedy.
Yeah, whenever you see the stunt doll just falling a few stories of free falling, there are some hilarious like freeze frame slow mos throughout the movie. I will give it that. And what was there something else after this, guys? Or
well, yeah, because this is when just before that, they've taken out Larry's wife and they've got Matt's sister hostage. Then, and after the fall, like Matt's semi-conscious, I guess, he's a little dazed, a little out of it, she would be. So it's the kid. Well, I'll just say it's grimy. The Larry and his family are completely taken out, and then this is where they give Matt Hunter, they give him an ultimatum, right? Meet us at this location in 2 weeks, or we've got your sister. So yeah, folks, and then I think doesn't one of them hit him with the butt of a rifle, possibly? Knock him out.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, he gets knocked out and then he passes out or whatever. Yeah. The funniest thing about it, Gaz said, like various parts of the movie is like Matt goes back to like government military HQ to talk to the admiral, and each time he's like, hey, I'm tracking them. They're doing this. This is my next move. At no point you think he reports to an admiral, as Gaz says, who you think would have some pull. At no point do they say, hey, we're going to deploy a detachment of Navy SEALs to help you take out this psychotic, racist, highly illegal secret society. You know what I mean? It's even though he goes and reports back, it's still like, oh, well, Matt, you got to go out there on your own, dude. We're not going to give you any equipment.
Yeah, or at least one trained assassin with somebody to go with him. And also, Ross, this is when it becomes very obvious that, and spoiler alert, folks, skip this part if you don't want to know, that James Booth is the 5th member of the Pentangle. It's not kind of officially revealed even when we get to the final act where it comes in, but it's so obvious and the movie builds up to suggesting it's him. I'm like, dude, nobody else knows outside of the admiral you're reporting to, those guys in the room. So it's obvious there's a leak there. And this is supposed to be the elite of the elite, and that never crosses his mind. As it's like, no, not until later. Damn, how did they get that location of the farm? Well, he does come to that later, but I'm like, come on, they're kind of pinpointing your every move here, getting all the inside. These guys were connected. They were high level. They are connected to some people on the inside. They've got powerful friends.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even just like when the government recruited Snake Plissken to escape from LA, they gave him like the jacket, the rifle, the pistol. Like you think they would give Matt a bunch of like high tech James Bondian, hey, you could use these types of gadgets and stuff. But again, he's a martial artist guy, so he improvises. He doesn't. It's just
improv, isn't it?
It's all. No matter how many weird execution weapons they have in the bayou, he's fisticuffed.
Oh, dude, we're coming to that. We're coming to that. I'm gonna be sorry. We're coming to that. Yeah.
Yeah. The Pentangle gives Matt 2 weeks to agree to be hunted, or they will kill Sarah, as Gaz said. 2 weeks later, Matt shows up at a Pentangle Cajun bayou party. Matt rescues Sarah and escapes into the swamps on foot. The Pentangle hunts him throughout the night, but one by one, Matt eliminates Laval, Wallace, and Delaney until only Glastonbury remains. So basically, he finds Sarah. She's like dressed up at the brothel or whatever it is at that weird Cajun party. That extremely weird scene, by the way. I won't really go into the minutia, but you guys can watch it and tell us how weird it is in the comments. And he gets Sarah. They swim out, and then the rain starts. So it gives it kind of that theatrical final fight rain sequence, which is a bit like the first sequence in the movie, only with rain. And that's when we see Fruit Ninja, we'll call him S&M bonded Zodiac, and you know what I mean, Glastonbury. And basically, Matt is going to have some fights with each one of these guys. So things that I noticed when he fought Fruit Ninja, Gaz, the guy comes out with a katana blade. Matt picks up a stick from the forest, and he's literally blocking katana blade steel
with a bow staff kind of
wood. Like the bow staff stick. Like, bro, ridiculous.
Just before that, they find somewhere to shelter, and he's got his sister Sarah there, and he hears footsteps of somebody, and he sees Fruit Ninja, carefully wading through some swamp water, and he throws a rock to get Fruit Ninja's attention, kind of lures him to an open space for them to fight. A bit like if you've ever seen any of those shows on the History Channel where they're in the swamps, it's very much like that. Yeah. Look, this fight, to be fair, it's not a bad sequence. I was saying to Ross, here's a positive. Matt doesn't Jedi power battle his way through every scene. So it does a positive of showing that, yes, these guys are trained hunters, trained assassins. They are going to be a challenge. And this fight's not bad. I mean, once Matt loses the piece of wood versus a katana, which wouldn't really do very well at all, he manages to... I've forgotten. Well, I do remember what it's called. I just can't pronounce it at the moment because my mind is half ejected on me. But it's the shorter version of a katana, or a dagger begins with a W. He gets one of. I've just.
Wakizashi, or in some
I think so, because he gets that out of the guy's. Gets that from the guy's waist and then fights him. Has the sword exchange, which looks more like katana on katana by that point. And to be fair, Ross, this scene wasn't bad. Matt does have to fight. He doesn't just get his own way. They do counter each other. There's some good exchanges. So the fight actually isn't that
good
bad.
Good throws.
If we'd have got a middle section of another Most Dangerous Game part, it would have been good. There's an indie movie maybe we could look at as part of the Most Dangerous Game. Slip will probably know the title of this. It's on TV quite a lot, particularly on the Legend channel here. And it's kind of a similar thing. There's a team of hunters that have been hunting people in a forest, but somebody trains a girl in secret to basically be the hunter of them, drops her in the middle of it, and they all think, oh, we've got a teenage girl here, we're pretty much going to get our way, blah, blah. And she turns tables on him. It's not a bad movie. Definitely a hidden Most Dangerous Game. So,
absolutely.
As this fight plays out, as Ross said, there's some good judo throws, there's some good counters, some good exchanges. Matt does have to work for it. Is this then when Mr. Bondage Man then I think appears, doesn't he?
Shortly after. One? So Matt flips Fruit Ninja onto his back, and he goes through a sharp. Right, and that's how he dies on there. At this point, both katanas have been dropped in the water. So I was thinking the same thing. Although at the same time, do you want to reach around into the mud to a katana that you can't see and grab it by the blade and injure your head? So, but I think he does go through his pockets. His chest pockets, but he doesn't find anything. So you do see him search a couple of the guys for stuff to use, but again, he doesn't really find anything.
I think he does is it on Bondage Man when he finds the wallet, and that's when you see the picture of the 4 members of the Pentangle.
Yep,
revealed who they are.
He has a fight with Zodiac Bondage Man.
Zodiac Bondage Man.
There's kind of this guy's got a leather mask with kind of S&M straps across his nipples, and he's not using the saw trident. I don't think at that one.
He's got this is what got me. This is the first of it. Sorry, forgot. So after he's fought Fruit Ninja, okay, the other sword, is in the water. So as you said, Ross, you're not going to put your hand in the water to try and find it. You could get cut off by one of the gators that, as referenced earlier, the rain brings them out. Well, we don't see any of them, do there? Again, I think they were too busy sleeping or
they should have shown him at the end. They should have had him eat one of the bad guys.
Well, maybe the gators were gathered around watching Sports Center with a human that made friends with or something. I don't know, man.
They're probably watching Invasion USA.
Yeah, they probably were. Yeah, getting the backstory, which isn't linked. but however, Fruit Ninjas katana is with him, and Matt just ignores it. He doesn't take it with him. I'm like, you've got no weapons with you. All these guys around, and that's one thing I noticed. He never takes any of the weapons from the down villains. There's the next scene. What we're about to break down. Bondage Gimpy Man. Dude, he's got a crossbow pistol. He doesn't take that with him. He doesn't take the big blatant jungle knife with him. No, I won't take that with me. The guy who had the shotgun, okay, ran out of ammo, but he may have had some other grenades on him, which he's using. Doesn't take any of those.
Yeah, well, the way they tried to make up for it was like he searched the chest vest pockets.
Right, yeah.
And then it's like he didn't find anything, so okay, he better go. And remember, it's Matt Hunter.
Good point. I'm getting excited.
So he fights Zodiac Bondage Man. First of all, that dude picks him up and freaking slams his spine.
Yeah, the wrestling moves.
It doesn't break Hunter's back. Then he picks him up again, slams him on a tree trunk, which like basically does break the tree. Somehow Hunter remains both and doesn't get his back broken. Haven't seen that one, Cloud. And then okay, so that I think he pulls out I don't know. He tries to shoot him with the crossbow pistol at one point.
Yeah.
And I guess he misses or whatever. Then he pulls out the big Rambo knife.
Yeah, and that's when somehow in that exchange he's disarmed he's disarmed. So he hasn't got a crossbow pistol anymore. Oh no, shout to stuntmen. We still enjoyed this movie. I find it highly entertaining. I would definitely recommend it to people.
I like it better than Avenging USA. I'm more of a Most Dangerous Game guy.
Yeah. It's the concept is good, and it really is. Concept is good. And one of Sam's later movies, American Samurai, as I said earlier, that is a really good movie. It's one we should cover, actually. I think somebody asked us to. It's got Mark Dacascos in.
It's not that bad in terms of like natural sets, like the whole shipyard, this whole bayou that they fight in.
Yeah.
Like, definitely good. I like the way the sequences play out. Even the fight choreography is not that bad.
Yeah, well, this is the part where the fights, as I said, aren't that bad, actually. I mean, I'm sure this is Bondage Man loses the crossbow pistol, and because that's when he gets the dagger out and he's going to throw it, I think, at Matt, and that's when Matt use the crossbow pistol then against him, but then doesn't decide to take that with him or take the knife with him either.
Yeah, so I think because it was one shot, the incineration, like the rest of the arrows were on Zodiac Man, but we didn't really see him search his body. Okay, let's get to some cheese. All these guys carry their wallets on them when they're out there.
Oh yeah. This is where
you don't think you would take your wallet with all your like credit cards and your ID and your name on it and pictures of you and your friends that kill people for fun. You don't think you're going to leave that back in the locker at the cabin? So if something happens to you, your body's not out there with all this identifying. But anyway, it's Avenging Force, not an investigation.
Quick question, Ross. This is just floated in my head. So when he defeats Bondage Man and he searches him, and I think this is when he gets the wallet from Bondage Man, and there's the picture of the members of the Pentangle. Now, on that picture, I think there was only 4 members. It's only 4. I just wondered if there was a picture of the Admiral, James Booth's character.
I don't think so, because you assume Hunter would obviously have recognized that, right? So
yeah.
It's Laval, Wallace, Delaney, and Glastonbury. So just them 4, but obviously 4 is not a
just wondered, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that great of a look at it, but I remember. Hey, correct us in the chat if you guys noticed.
I think even by then, even Matt, as he didn't realize earlier, but straight after the farm ambush would know, right, it's got to be the Admiral or somebody in that department for how they can pinpoint every location. There's an intelligence lead.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And you saw the 2 intelligence guys talking about that after the ranch fire. Like, I can't believe these guys. They're protecting predicting our every move. And so obviously you knew there was a mole, as Gaz said. So I think that was Delaney was Zodiac Bondage Man. And then that leads to a final showdown with Elliot. And this one's absolutely hilarious. So Hunter is helping his sister Sarah get to the shore, or get to freedom, and Elliot pops out of okay, first of all, let's talk about this guy's like, how long was he underwater holding his breath for? Because it's not like he had any scuba apparatus that could just
it's Poseidon. Isn't he? It's Poseidon, dude.
He's like one of those reptiles that can hold his like hold his breath for like 15 minutes, you know. Like
it was one of the reptilians who decided to star in a movie. No, wasn't that busy that time. Thought, all right, I'll do Avenging Force.
Yeah, it was Reptilian Man. So he pops out. He gets the kraut wire on his on Matt's neck. They struggle for a minute. Then I think Matt takes his own. He takes Elliot's knife or whatever and stabs him in the leg. I think. Yeah,
we've missed the fight before that, haven't we? The guy who's using the shotgun and the grenades.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. That's right. There's a dude aiming the shotgun at him, completely misses. He throws a grenade, and that explosion knocks Matt like 10 feet into the water. He feigns dead, and then he does a trip. He does a trip move with his legs.
Pretty good, actually. Yeah.
And so after Matt finishes that guy off, he checks his chest pockets, but he doesn't find any weapon or anything. Yeah. So yeah, that's a cool fight too. So I didn't. He was calling him like cousin or something, right?
Yeah, it was weird because he referred to him as cuz twice, and I'm like, this seems weird. I thought this isn't an insult, as far as I know, or something regional from that time, not that I'm aware of.
Because that was supposed to be the martial arts dude, right? I think the insinuation was like he's from the same platoon as Hunter and Richards. So he either served with them or he's from like the same like karate organization or something.
Possibly, yeah, because that's the guy who's kind of like their political prodigy, isn't it, in the movie as well? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So that was interesting. So and then I don't remember how. So it was basically another kung fu fight. Right?
Then after that, I think then we see Matt has Sarah. They're wade into the swamp water, and you see a shot of what I don't know what it is, if it's a store or whatever it is. It's struggling to think. I know it's a building. It's some kind of residential building. I think there's a kid and an adult outside. So the signs of there is civilization nearby. There's the public. You know, there's witnesses. Right, there's safety. Let's get to them. So they do start to take a few steps forward, and this is when Poseidon Reptilian cosplay Shouty Man appears from the water, goes to put the wire around his neck to choke him out. Matt uses, I think, I was saying he didn't take the dagger, but he does stab him with something. So is this implied that he did take that blade then?
It's either he took the dagger or Elliot had one like in his boot that he pulled out of Elliot's boot and stabbed him with his own. One of the two. Again, if you guys remember.
Did you think though when that happens, I mean, I know he wants to get his sister to safety, but he could have said to his sister, right, you know, you swim ahead there, this guy's injured. He could have taken the guy out there.
Of course.
But just lets him.
It's a movie, so you might as well just let them get. You might as well just let them both go their separate ways. That way you can have a
we've got another 15 minutes to film. We can't end just yet.
Hey, how are you going to have the big bad standoff? Because the situation was like Matt already killed the other three, so now they want to have a final showdown with that.
And I won't be too ungrateful because we're about to get into the moment of the entire movie. The final act and ending. That's it. This just sells the entire film.
Literally insane. So. Ambush, as Gas said, ambushed by Glastonbury, Matt stabs him, which allows both men time to escape. Matt then confronts Glastonbury at his mansion. They duel with Glastonbury's collection of antique weaponry. So again, okay.
Oh man,
some cheese.
Yeah.
Matt goes directly from there to the mansion. He's straight out of the swamp, covered in blood from the three guys he just killed. Elliot is like giving one of his like pseudo, right-wing racist speeches to the rest of the people at the lunch table, dinner table, whatever that's supposed to be. And then they're like, hey, there's a guy waiting for you in the lobby. He looks dreadful. And he's like, okay, I'll go meet him. He walks out of that room. Him and Matt are talking to each other. He's like, hey, Hunter's like, hey, we have some unfinished business. He's like, yeah, we do. He's like, let's go upstairs. So they go up to the antique weapon room. They're definitely trying to do enter the dragon here, no question.
Yeah. Dude, the whole way this scene is set up is hilarious. So just before this happens, Matt's gone back to HQ. He's taken his sister there to be cared for by the doctors. Kind of threatens the admiral in the whole room. Look, my sister doesn't make it, but I'll hold you all responsible. Then goes to Elliot's soiree, I guess, where he's doing a James Bond. He's even got his kid in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's so hilarious, Ross, where the waiter comes up to Elliot and says something like, "Sir, there's a gentleman to see you. In the foyer. He's looking rather dastardly."
Yeah, dreadful. Yeah, for sure.
The dialogue, and the way they casually, let's go upstairs. And the way that they casually walk upstairs and they're filming, and it's like probably a 5-minute journey or something, Ross. But it seems to be taking forever, doesn't it?
Here's the part, right? Elliot turns his back to Hunter and walks up the stairs in front of him. Now, mind you, last time these two guys saw each other, Elliot tried to strangle him to death with a kraut wire, and Hunter stabbed him. Wouldn't Hunter just grab him right there on the stairs by the neck when he's not looking to choke him out? But of course, you want to have the final fight.
Yeah, and the thing is, as well, folks, Ross made this point. So Elliot addresses his gathered guests just before he goes upstairs and says, "Right, kind of thing. I'll be back." And they arrive in this weapons room. Definitely like the scene from Enter the Dragon. You see armor and weapons from various eras of history, Roman, Greek, everything is there, spears, maces, medieval shields. And there's a brief exchange. Elliot tries to, doesn't he try to turn Matt? I think he does.
Yeah, we could use an agent like you. The Pentangle could use an agent like you. Yeah.
And then he asks Matt to choose his weapon, and this is hilarious again, right? Aside from, whilst all this is happening, you're in a weapons room, and Ross made out there's a dinner party downstairs. Nobody at one point is eating a meal and thinks, "Wonder what's going on up there."
What's that clamoring? What's that noise up there? You know what I mean? So Elliot tells Hunter to pick your weapon. Hunter picks another bow staff, and
the dude has
Elliot picks a spear. So they have a staff for a spear exchange. I think Hunter gets knocked down. He tries to throw the spear. He throws the spear at him. Hunter just taps it away. Like Thanos,
American Ninja style.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think they fight across the room. Elliot, I think, grabs that mace, that little ball and chain mace, and then Hunter grabs the shield, which you can clearly see is plastic from the way he holds it.
Uses it like a kick shield, doesn't he? The way he holds it. Not like this. Uses it, yeah.
Force him forward and ram him. I don't really remember what happens there, but I know they fight back down the stairs. They fall back down the stairs.
They do, and I think Matt... Does Elliot get knocked down the stairs then, and Matt jumps over one of the railings, and then they have another exchange. There's some fists thrown at one point. Matt lands on the floor with his back turned, and this is when Elliot, and you do see the body double here if you look carefully as well for Elliot, where you see the blatant wig on this stunt guy, which is quite hilarious. And this is literally
that's awesome.
Just outside the dinner party, and nobody yet, Ross, is still
so now they're back
to
downstairs. Now they're on the same floor as the dinner party. And, he didn't even shut the door when he left, so they can't hear the commotion of all that stuff breaking down the stairs and then back down to
not even this cat, not even the kitten. Not even the kitten comes to look out curious and into where where's my dinner? I'm wanting it too, or what's happening to Daddy Elliot, whatever.
Even the kitten hates him because that's how evil he is. So eventually, Elliot gets the kraut wire back on Hunter. He's tightening it, and he's about to kill him again when Hunter gets him stuck and impaled on the statue. And I didn't really see what that was. He got stabbed by some sort of spear or something.
Yeah, something like that. And to be fair,
statue.
It's not. To be honest, the whole fight here, the whole exchange, isn't that bad. It's an entertainment, but it's not too. It's not too bad. It's a bit reminiscent. Again, I'm going to quote Game of Death, Ross, but it's a bit reminiscent of that guy who comes down with the straps and shirt, who Bruce fights. It reminded me of that a little. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool the way it's done, the way it plays out. And yeah, then Elliot gets. I seem to think, Ross. It's something that was stuck out on the wall, isn't it? What the guy gets impaled on.
The statue. It's that statue, right?
Statue, right?
Yeah. I think it's like a shield and a sword or a spear or something like that. I don't know exactly what the point was. But again, so Elliot is in industrial, CEO, and yeah, he does the great hunt. But is it really believable that he can take on hand to hand with Matt Hunter, who's a super agent that's trained clearly a martial artist? And Elliot's 10 years older than him. He called him what, youngster, right? He's like, that's not going to work, youngster. So he's 10 to 20 years older than him.
You see, if the guy
beat his ass,
if the guy was another former high-level operative, say, or someone really trained to that level, then that could have been believable, because you could have said, right, he knows how to conserve his energy, he's going to use his experience. Then that would make it believable, but he isn't. The other guys are, Bondage Man,
they're killers,
Fruit Ninja, Ranger Rambo Man, I guess, the other one. So that's believable, but Elliot hides in the water and chokes people and has nothing, not other than speaking in a kind of posh kind of accent. That's about it, really. So it doesn't. You're right, Ross. It doesn't make that believable. If we'd have been presented this as a experienced uber villain, former operative, former whatever, blah blah blah, just somebody who's been trained to that level in various disciplines, then you could say, okay, even though, yes, this is the older person, he can use that experience against the other one. That would make it still, somewhat more believable then. But there's none of that, Ross. So it's just like, not sure here.
Is Han from Enter the Dragon, right? He's older, but he's a veteran Shaolin monk. So he still has
very good call. Good call.
Elliot, Hunter is younger. He's faster, stronger. He's better trained. So the fight, even though he just killed 3 guys and he is fatigued from going through the whole great hunt. Anyway, just something to think about there. So after Elliot expires, I think Hunter goes back to the headquarters again and brings his sister, doctor, and honestly, I really like the way the end plays out, because he's like, if my sister dies, I'm going to hold everybody in this room accountable, since you. Yeah,
that was the scene I mentioned that. Yeah,
go be hunted. So I really think that there should have been a sequel for part 3 with Dudikoff playing Hunter.
It leaves it open, because that was the scene I mentioned earlier, and that's a good call, because there's I think Matt then is outside a hospital room, possibly. It's a hospital room. There's the 2 intelligence agents, and there's the Admiral, played by James Booth. And, there's the congratulatory from the Admiral. Well done, Matt. We've got him, blah, blah. Pentangle's been destroyed.
We didn't support you at all, but we've.
Yeah. Congrats, all of this. And this is when Matt then suggests to the Admiral, but the 5th member, I didn't get the 5th member. The 5th member is still around. And there's a glance back from James Booth and say, right, is Matt know who I am? Matt's looking at him. And then James Booth casually takes him away from the other 2 agents and says to Matt, what are you insinuating? Matt replies with, he doesn't say kind of direct, look, I think you are the 5th member of Pentangle, but he says, look, more or less, words to this effect, the leak came from this department. Nobody else knew about the farm other than you, etc., etc. The camera does a good job of going between the 2 actors' faces. So it does suggest that the Admiral is the leader of the Pentangle. Then there's as Dudikoff walks off, we get that freeze frame, the Stan Bush-esque music. Who has a new album out, so he's still around, folks. He's still doing Kumite and all of that, and the streets of Saigon and whatever else.
Okay, so we don't get a Kumite ending, but we get a freeze frame and the credits roll with some cheese.
So it does leave it open, Ross, for when they could have done a 3rd one, and I don't know why they maybe did, but a year later you got American Ninja 2 with Steve James. and Michael Dudikoff. Also, Sam Fistenberg was, I believe, the director of that movie as well. Yeah. And then, as I said at the start of the review, Dudikoff did Platoon Leader after American Ninja 2. He didn't do American Ninja 3, but Steve James did. And then Dudikoff was back with David Bradley for American Ninja 4. So I don't know. I don't know why that didn't happen, because it leaves it open, and they could have given us another, the Most Dangerous Game set movie, definitely with more of those scenes. It could have been hilariously entertaining. So I would have been down for that.
I mean, so you either could have brought Dudikoff back for a third sequel playing Hunter, or you could have tried to get Norris back for 3 to have him reprise the Hunter role from 1. Here's something that you've talked about, Gaz. You said that Dudikoff's daughter acts, right?
I think I know where you're going. I think it's Steve James's daughter, and there was the rumor I read. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, folks. It's just what I've read on the net. There was a rumor that she was looking to do American Ninja 6. And that's, we haven't finished covering that series. Myself and Ross have some plans related to it. So I don't know if that's true, because you get so much, hearsay on the net. They're doing a sequel to this, so I don't know. But apparently, from what I read, I don't know if that's 100% true. So don't say, Gaz over at PXM said, because no, it's just what I've read, and it could literally be clickbait.
Yeah, don't quote Gaz on it. I don't know anything about it, but I was going to say, if Dudikoff did have a daughter that acts, obviously Sarah was younger in Avenging 4. So if Michael's not coming back to play Matt Hunter, you could have her come back as Matt Hunter's daughter, like Avenging 4 too. You know what I mean? And then she's hunting down, the fifth member or whatever.
Well, Pixie, if we can get about 12 Sharknado movies, I'm all down for getting the Invasion USA and Avenging Comedy Part 27. I never get tired of cheese.
100%. All right, let's pop off, shall we? Let's go to our ratings. Drop your ratings in the chat. Avenging Force, and you can watch this free on Tubi, by the way. It's free. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, but it is on Tubi. Where did it go? Okay. It's got a 5.8 out of 10 with almost 4,000 ratings on IMDb.
Wow, that's higher than
I'm giving it 7 out of 10 because, amazing cheese. Of course, Dudikoff's the man. Great fights. Steve James. Can't go wrong with Steve James and Dudikoff. The soundtrack, awesome. Totally sounds like a SNES fighting game soundtrack. Like a beat 'em up.
It's almost like the Swamps DLC for a Final Fight game or something. Pretty much. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm at a 7. It's a grindhouse movie, folks, so there is some brutal moments for sure, but it's so entertaining. I just found it absolutely hilarious. I enjoyed it. There was some really comedic moments, but saying that, the final act fights aren't actually that bad. And as Ross said earlier, if we'd have got a middle section with another Most Dangerous Game sequence, I think that would have given the movie a little bit more weight. So it's not bad. It's a bit like Deadly Prey as well. Kind of reminded me of that movie. Utterly entertaining movie. Just sit there and laugh, folks. And Dudikoff, Steve James, R.I.P. And Dudikoff's the man as well. So entertaining movie. 7 out of 10 for sure.
Zodiac Bondage Man with the mustache. He looked a lot like one of the dudes that was from that other Most Dangerous Game movie. I keep forgetting the name of it, but the one shot in Australia, and it had that big kind of bald dude with the mustache. It looked like the same actor, but I know in those earliest Most Dangerous Game remakes, there are actors that repeat in more than one of the movies. Let me see.
That dude, Bondage Man, as I say, he was in the Eye of the Tiger movie. That's either Gary or Jake Busey, where he's playing, surprisingly, another kind of bondage-looking man leading a Mad Max kind of cult. Yeah. But I've seen him in a lot of action movies from that time as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, guys, Most Dangerous Game. That'll do it. Avenging Force, aka having some Most Dangerous Game influence. Semi-sequel to Invasion USA, which Pixie brought to us. And, of course, is the second chapter of Matt Hunter, played by Michael Dudikoff. Larry Richards, played by Steve James, R.I.P.
Pixie.
Sub over to the guy who doesn't like Reservoir Dogs. You're never going to live that down.
Yeah, it's okay, because I say I know loads of people from, my scene and that who think the same. I'm not a Tarantino fan or his movies at all. So I knew last week, because, obviously you have a true crime base. That's the whole kind of point with PXF as well. So I knew as soon as you were doing that movie with I thought, I'm going to be the minority here. I'm going to be against it. But yeah, you'll never. I'll look for positives on the kind of writing and film angle with something I don't enjoy. But yeah, it's not one of mine. But there is worse. We have covered worse. We have covered so much worse.
Yes, we have. Guys have seen way worse, and we've covered worse. I mean, more. We mostly did that one, guys, because it's the Reservoir Dogs anniversary, and also because R.I.P. Michael Madsen. We really hadn't done anything for Michael Madsen since
nice guy.
Mr. Blonde being that epic role from him. So even if you don't like the movie, I'm sure anyone could appreciate Madsen's part. But I think that's it, guys. Next week we have Goodfellas, kind of going back to crime and getting away from the Most Dangerous Game and the usual grindhouse stuff we do. Although you could still kind of consider those mafia crime movies as grindhouse. Hopefully, going to get our boy Brett from NYC Crime Spot channel. He does in-depth New York crime and mafia organized crime coverage. So head on over to NYC Crime Spot. He's been with us before. He did The Taxi Driver with me, Mac, and Brett, NYC Crime Spot.
Yeah, I remember that. I was away doing whatever I was that time. Well,
I didn't make that one, but this time he'll be with us for Goodfellas. And then we have Death Rides a Horse for the end of the month. I might put up a poll for that to see if you guys want us to do either Death Rides a Horse or a Western, or if you guys would rather us do like Zodiac Goes to the Movies. We could do like Rampage or one of the Zodiac movies. So I'll probably put up a poll. But next week, definitely Goodfellas. So I'll touch base with Brett on that. Like, sub, share, click join for a membership. As always, if you want to get your donations in for episode 5 and 6 of the main series, make sure you email me so I have your name and you get your credit at the end of the episode. So click sub for Jack Death here over on Mosh Shinobi, and that's pretty much going to do us for Avenging Force. Dudikoff, James, you can watch it free on Tubi. It might even be on YouTube, I'm not sure.
Should we get a poll up as well if we want to send, for appreciation, the support as well for Pixie, a little action figure of Bondage Man, so she can look at Bondage Man, every day. Sit there and you can put it on your shelf or in the kitchen, fire Pixie when you're making a coffee, and then Bondage
Pixie,
Man.
That's homework for you. We want you to print off a super blow up of Zodiac Bondage Man, especially right when he's running in with that trident right in the beginning of the movie. It has to be that screenshot or it doesn't count. Anyway, guys, she's down. All right, that'll do it for Avenging Force, guys. I thought it was awesome. I might do a little write-up for this on Patreon, so Pixie had my link there. Go join free with your Gmail, and like, sub, share, click join for membership. Sub Gaz on Mosh Shinobi, and join us next week with Crime Spot, aka Brett, for Goodfellas, a absolute dinero. Also, rest in peace to Ray. Dude, I've been just terrible with actors' names lately. I can't remember any.
Dude, it happens.
I can't remember anybody's name lately.
It happens to me all the time. I think it's prepared, and you just have that moment when the mind just decides to go to sleep on you. And then as soon as you're done, you remember.
Ray Liotta. God damn it. Ray Liotta. Sorry, Ray. Rest in peace. That will never happen again. I should never forget him. Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Goodfellas next week. Join us. Peace to everybody who came through. Slippy, Pixie, Darkside, Jeff, Beckham, Tim. I think that's almost everybody. Jerome, Ray Liotta. No, I know. I had a breakdown. Pixie. It'll never happen again. I swear. And I actually do want to see that 1992 movie with Ray Liotta too. I think it's his last movie. It's about the Rodney King riots with Tyrese. A heist movie that looks sick too. So I do want to get that on the list. All right, guys, any recommendations, drop them in the chat or leave your comments below. We're out. Get your merch over on the Teespring, and that's pretty much it for now. You can always get the comic on Amazon, The Dark Rift Volume 1. We're out. Subscribe. Avenging Force, free on Tubi. Thank you guys all for coming through. Appreciate you. Turn it.